About 40 kilometers from Gaza, the military airport of Al Arish in Egypt. 25 Gazans, all heavily injured or severely sick, are waiting to board this aircraft with at least one of their relatives. This is the 17th evacuation flight organized by the United Arab Emirates, who bring media along each time. Dr. Maha Barakat is Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs. She takes part in every mission.
The ones that we have just boarded, some of them have multiple fractures, some of them have amputations. We've never seen this kind of intensity, frequency and severity in terms of injuries.
Among those evacuated is 8-year-old Nada Musallim. She was wounded by an Israeli strike while her family was fleeing from northern Gaza to seek refuge in the south. For 2 months now, Nada has been suffering from third-degree burns on both legs and an evisceration. With 25 of Gaza's 36 hospitals out of service, Nada couldn't get proper medical care or even painkillers. Her mom, Nasreen, thought she was going to lose her.
2 weeks ago, her oxygen levels were down. Her blood pressure dropped and I was told we're taking her to the ICU. You should start praying because your daughter is about to take her last breath. But thank God Nada is still here and it will get better. The only thing I want is for her to recover.
In Gaza, one child is killed or injured every 10 minutes, according to UNICEF. Despite their hardships, these passengers were lucky. Selected by doctors in Gaza, they've obtained medical visas from the UAE with the approval of the Israeli and Egyptian authorities. Abu Dhabi already evacuated nearly 700 of the 2,000 children it plans to take for free. But this is merely a drop in an ocean of needs.
Through medical evacuations, we can help thousands. But with a ceasefire, I think you can help hundreds of thousands. The United Arab Emirates has worked tirelessly and round the clock to try and achieve a ceasefire.
After a long wait, the last family stuck at the Rafah border crossing between Israel and Egypt is able to board. 3.5 hours later, the plane lands in Abu Dhabi. Nada is immediately transferred to an emergency unit. Since October 7th, the Emirates have ramped up their humanitarian efforts, but there is more to it than simple generosity. One of the first Arab countries to normalize relations with Israel in 2020, the UAE is looking to polish its image abroad, but also reassure its population, which supports the Palestinian cause. At the Sheikh Khalifa Medical Center, plastic surgeon Ahmad Raza is treating Nada.
Assalamu alaikum. You're okay?
كويسة. مليحة. He just wants to check your burns on this side. He wants to examine you because tomorrow he'll clean the wounds and change the bandages, so you won't feel so much pain anymore.
She's in a pretty bad shape. The dressing wasn't changed for the last 5 days. She was febrile. We started her on antibiotics. We transfused blood. They are coming with the war injuries, with the burns, and with the severe traumas. I saw the young patients. They will think that they don't want to live after that.
To support Nada, 2 of her brothers were allowed to join her in Abu Dhabi, but the rest of the family is still in Rafah.
I feel safe here, but I can't stop thinking about those who stayed in Gaza, my husband, my other children. Life over there is very tough. The tents, the fear, the terror, the planes flying over our heads. Nada's treatment should take a while, and in the meantime, I hope the war will have ended.
Her doctors say Nada should be able to walk again in a few months. Meanwhile, all the family's expenses are covered by Abu Dhabi. The UAE wants to establish itself as a global hub for humanitarian action, and a key part of this strategy is this brand new city at the edge of the desert, which can accommodate up to 12,000 people. 1,300 Palestinians are currently living here under Mubarak al-Qahtani's supervision.
Here we have the accommodation. We have also kitchens here. We are providing 3 meals every day. It's a catering. It's a hotel, we call it.
A hotel especially designed for children, with a daycare, a school, and large playing areas. The government also provides a €3,000 monthly allowance to each person.
كيفك? We try to give him everything to keep him happy. At least they can forget what they saw. Wallahi, we need him to feel like they are in the home.
The Gazan stay, however, can only be temporary, as the UAE does not recognize refugee status.
We are doing the treatment. We hope the war will stop. Then they can go back safely to Gaza. But we don't have other planning to have him in UAE.
Going home is hard to imagine for 12-year-old Layan Nasser. After having lost both legs, she was among the first to be evacuated in November and is now learning to walk again with prosthetics. But her trauma remains intact.
This is a drawing for Palestine. It says, Palestine in my heart.
We cannot forget what happened to us. No one could.
I can't think about my future. I have nightmares about going back to Gaza. I wake up screaming. I don't want to go back.
Even sheltered from the war, it's hard to envision a future for these Gazans whose entire lives are now in ruins.